Okay, so here we go. Starting again. Unicorniate uterus, and my doctor told the assistant, look at it and see how you see one horn here. Okay, and so then I just kind of, drifted off a little bit to sleep. I just thought, all right, great, I have a funky uterus, whatever. And then I start hearing him say, and I'm not finding a second fallopian tube, not finding a second ovary. Let me look. And so at this point, he starts looking through my anatomy for my anatomy. He starts looking for the second tube, the second ovary. And he's just, I'm not finding it. Let me look this up and see if it's here. And I say it's weird hearing your doctor tell you he didn't know. I don't think he knew I was conscious at this point, but hearing him look through your body parts. I'm not finding it. He said, and you know what? I wonder if this means she's only got one kidney. Let me see what I can find for kidneys. So he starts looking, and he only finds one kidney. So he just said, yeah, we're going to need to scan. And I heard him say that. We're going to need to scan and see what's going on. I'm just shocked. It's like, I'm shaking the whole time. Like, the whole time I was having the C-section, I was just, my body was just shaking uncontrollably. And I just have to say, the nurse that I had was great. The anesthesiologist, Vic, was great. Vic stood by my head the whole time, and he, tried to talk to me and keep my mind off of things, So I think he knew that I was hearing all this. So he, was asking me what the baby's name was and what our plans were and, about family. And so he was great. Let's see. So, 12/20, I returned from surgery. So, took a little longer than my family was thinking. So, my husband and my family was freaking out, wow, where is she? What's taking so long? I was shaking terribly. Oh my goodness. My nurse, Linda, had someone hunt down one of those bear hug things for me, because I guess they don't give them to everybody, but I was I can't even describe the shaking. And I was running a fever too, a pretty high fever. My friend Vic, the anesthesiologist, came in and talked to me for about an hour just to keep an eye on me after the C-section, because he knew how traumatic that was for me. My pulse was very high. He kept checking my pulse and my blood pressure, and my temperature the whole time he stayed in there with me. He just wanted to make sure, that I was okay. Jason was able to come in at this point and see me, and I just looked at him, and I remember just looking at him and saying, Jackson's a miracle. And he just kind of looked at me like, what? And I told him what I heard, that I only have one ovary, one fallopian tube, one kidney, and that means I have half a uterus too, the unicorniate uterus. I have half of a uterus. And he just kind of looked at me like, you're on medication, that's okay. But, I knew I heard it, at least. But then at that point I started second guessing myself, like, well, what if I really didn't hear that, but he was able to come in. My mom was able to come in and see me. They finally brought the baby to me. It really wasn't that long afterwards, 12:30, 12:45-ish. This is all in the morning. And I, from the beginning, I'm going to breastfeed, I'm going to breastfeed, I'm going to breastfeed. And the pediatric nurse just came and looked at me and she said, honey, you're in no shape to breastfeed right now. I wasn't. I knew physically I wasn't in any shape to breastfeed at the moment, because I was shaking. I was running such a high fever. I couldn't even lift my arms. So she just said, here's what we can do, She said, we can let Dad feed him a syringe of formula for his first feeding. We're not going to put it in a bottle. So, I hated it, but, well, hello, I wanted him to eat. So around 1 o'clock, Jason fed Jackson his first little bit of formula. Didn't so much like the formula. We figured that out after that night, because I gave him a little bit from a syringe in the nursery that night. The next day, he did not. He gurgled it and just didn't sit well with him, you could tell. So around 2 that morning, we decided we were just going to send Jackson to the nursery so we could get some sleep. Once again, didn't plan on doing that. Planned on keeping the baby in the room with us, but when you go through something traumatic like that, it just changes all your plans. Like, you can plan all you want, but if something happens, you got to be flexible. So Jason and I slept from about 2 to 5 that morning. I really just don't think it had hit us yet that we were parents, because we were too numb. We had both been through so much that day that it was hard to get excited about having a baby. I remember holding him for the first time, and I couldn't even hold him, because I'd be flat on my back because my pulse was so high, and the temp and the blood pressure and everything. My blood pressure did come down, though, I will say that. I couldn't even really hold him for real the first time I held him. It was just like he just kind of laid on me. He's so sweet, though. Oh my goodness, so worth it. I just feel like I need to say that. It's so worth it. So 7:30, I did get to breastfeed for the first time. He latched on very well, and he ate for about 15 minutes on each side. What more can you ask for, Lactation nurses were not there that day, but a pediatric nurse did come in and help me. 9 o'clock, I got a liquid tray, woohoo, with popsicles, juice, broth, and Jell-O. And so I hadn't eaten since 2:30 in the morning before. So, I ate it, but it's not really eating, 2:30 that afternoon, Jackson saw the on-call pediatrician, got a clean bill of health. He's a good, healthy boy. 3 o'clock, got his circumcision done by my doctor, Dr. Riley. He got the Plastibell done. So basically what that means is we don't have to do anything to it. When it falls off, it's healed. And it looks really good. Like, it really looks good from what we've seen. They said he didn't even cry. Didn't even flinch. So, that's always comforting. They took my catheter out at 4 that day. Ugh, that's disgusting. 6:30, I was able to eat my first real meal. Finally, 6:30 that night, after not eating since 2:30 the morning before. So, I got a cheeseburger, french fries, ice cream, and a sweet tea. I lost a lot of blood in the surgery. I should have mentioned that earlier. A lot of blood because of the way my uterus is shaped. Only half of a uterus, with the one horn. When he cut into my uterus to get Jackson out, he cut into some blood vessels. And I lost a major amount of blood. He told me later on he really could have given me 3 units at least. And I would have been feeling pretty good. The talk about the blood transfusion thing went on all day Friday and Saturday, and I didn't want one. I really did not want a blood transfusion. It scares me. I know that, the screening processes are great. I had some nurses that were really encouraging me to do it, some that weren't, My doctor was not keen on me getting a blood transfusion. So because I lost so much blood, that's why my pulse was up to 150, 160 at times. And it was that way all through Saturday. It didn't start coming down until Sunday morning. So anyway, they told me to eat a high iron diet, so that's why I went for the cheeseburger immediately. So, let's see. That was Friday. We had a lot of visitors out. A lot of people brought us things, which is nice. Our favorite candies and snacks, and we got a lot of flowers, and people just came and brought us drinks, whatever drinks we wanted, that kind of thing.